Hi, thank you for joining me. Welcome back to the Parenting Playbook with Nikki. This week we are still continuing our series on parenting a teen with anxiety and depression. So this week we'll talk about a tricky but essential topic, supporting your teen without enabling them. Our objectives for today, we will cover defining the difference between support and enabling. And then we'll look for common enabling behaviors that many of us fall into without realizing it. Next, we'll explore strategies to support our teens in a way that builds their confidence and not their dependence. Finally, we'll talk about how to help our teens build resilience and independence. So let's quickly recap what we mean when we talk about anxiety and depression. Anxiety is often a persistent worry or fear, while depression can look more like sadness, withdrawal, irritability, lack of motivation. So these conditions can make even basic tasks like going to school or getting out of bed feel very overwhelming. So as parents, our instincts tell us to jump in and help. But how we help can either support our teen's growth or accidentally reinforce avoidance and dependence. So, what is enabling? Well, enabling means doing something for your teen that they're very capable of doing for themselves, especially when that action prevents their emotional or behavioral growth. So, enabling usually comes from a place of deep love, but it can unintentionally block important development in areas like responsibility, confidence, and long-term mental health. As parents, we want to help our kids out, but we're going to learn the difference between doing things for them and helping them to be able to do these things themselves. So, what support versus enabling looks like. So, here's a side by side comparison. Support encourages problem solving and validates emotions, while enabling removes challenges entirely. So, support says, I know this is hard. Let's make a plan to do this together. Enabling says, I'll do it for you so you don't have to feel uncomfortable. Over time, enabling erodes your teen's confidence in themselves, but support, on the other hand, will build their autonomy. So here are some common enabling behaviors. So these are some examples that may feel familiar, like maybe allowing your teen to skip school repeatedly. They don't feel good, they don't want to go, so we're like, okay, that's fine, let's not go, but they're not actually sick. Another one is making excuses for them to their teachers, family, friends, doing their homework or chores for them. They just say, well, I don't feel like doing it today, or I just can't. And then you just do it for them instead of choosing a way to help them with that task so that it's easier for them to do. We don't want to do it for them. Another one is avoiding conflict or hard conversations. Excuse me. Also failing to follow through on set consequences. So even though these actions can feel like we're protecting them, they send the message that your teen can't handle life. That's not the message we want to give our teen. We want to build them up, build their autonomy, and let them know that they can do these things for themselves. So why do we enable? Well, there's lots of reasons why. Sometimes as parents, we just fear making things worse for our kids. We want the best for our children, so we just want to do these things for them so they can get through it and everything will be okay for them. Another reason is we may feel guilty about our child's struggles. We want to spare them from any pain that they go through in life because we know how teenagers are, it's very hard for them already. So sometimes we just want to do things to just make it better for them. So we want to spare them pain. We're afraid of conflict sometimes. Conflict with our teens can be very harsh at times. Teens have many emotions, and a lot of times they let it out on their parents. Sometimes the reason being, your teen feels very comfortable with you. So your teen is going to push you, yell at you, do these things on occasion, just because they know that they're not going to be punished by you, or they're not going to be hurt by you. So they let their frustrations out on you. So sometimes we can be afraid of that conflict as well. And sometimes we just may not understand what healthy support really looks like. So recognizing why we enable helps us take a more compassionate role, and look at how we parent. So the cost of enabling might be short-term relief, but it leads to long-term problems. So it can help reinforce hopelessness, delay of development and coping skills, and actually worsen anxiety and depression. So while it's tempting to rescue them, it often leaves our teens more vulnerable in the long run. And what we're trying to do is build up their strength and build up their confidence to make decisions for themselves. So how can we support our teens without enabling them? Well, here are 3 powerful ways we can do that. 1, we can validate their emotions. And what this looks like is saying things like, I can see this is really hard for you. Just acknowledge their struggle without solving it. And then we want to encourage gradual independence. So break tasks into small, manageable steps and let them try it. Let them do these things before stepping in. Of course, we can help where necessary, but try to let them figure out and do these things by themselves. And 3, set clear boundaries and expectations. So you might say, I understand school is overwhelming, but let's make a plan together. You still need to go. This approach is more compassionate and empowering. So we want to coach our children and not rescue them. So ask open-ended questions instead of giving answers. So we can ask, what's one thing we could try in this situation? They're going through something, they have a problem, they're unsure how to solve it. What's one thing we can try? Or what has helped you before in the past in these situations? Have your teen think of these things themselves, and that will definitely help them in the long run. We want to just offer tools instead of solutions. Coping strategies like deep breathing or journaling or breaking things into smaller tasks like in to-do lists. So when should we step in? Sometimes there are times that it is necessary to step in to help your child. So if your teen expresses any suicidal thoughts or risks of self-harm, we definitely want to step in there and make sure that they get the help that they need. If they are completely stuck despite genuine effort, they've made the lists, they've done certain parts of the task, but they just cannot get through it no matter what effort they put in or different things they've tried, then we can step in and help them. Another way we would need to step in is if professional help is needed, like therapy, counseling, or medication. You're not alone, and your teen doesn't have to face this alone either. So let's talk about some communication tips. When your child comes to you with a problem, we want to be very supportive and help them in their communication. So we want to be calm and non-judgmental. Keep your tone calm and open. Use open-ended questions. Most importantly, we just want to show you that we just want to show our teens that we trust their ability to figure things out with our support. They don't always have to do it alone. We don't have to enable them, but with our communication, we can help them solve their problems together. So here are some practice scenarios that we can do with our teens. So let's walk through a few of these. So let's say your teen refuses to get out of bed for school. So what enabling looks like is just letting them stay home. Just say, fine, you don't have to get up, just stay home, and then you'll email or call the school for them. And instead of that, what we want to practice is saying to our teen, I know you're feeling overwhelmed right now. That's okay. Things happen. But let's get up and talk about a plan. So then they get up and you talk about a plan. They may be late for school, but we want to encourage them to get there. If they're not physically sick, there's no reason they need to stay home. We should make a plan with them and have them help so they have that autonomy in giving you or helping you with a plan that feels okay for them. Scenario 2, they ask you to do their homework for them. They're very overwhelmed. They say they just can't do it. It's too hard. Enabling looks like just doing it for them. So being supportive looks more like, let's look at this together and figure out where you're stuck and why. Take a minute to jot down how you might respond in a supportive, not enabling way to one or both of these situations. We also want to build a supportive environment for our teen. I can't stress how important this is. We want our teen to feel safe, secure, and loved at home. So you can set the tone at home by just providing routines for your child and healthy sleep and nutrition, by being a role model for stress management. Involve your teen in decisions when you can. That will foster independence, connection, and competence. So a summary of what we went through. So support means empowering and not rescuing. What that looks like is helping your teen work through a problem instead of solving it for them. I know I'm a parent of 3 children. There were many times where I tried to just rescue my teen and do it for them. They were upset. I didn't want them to feel upset. The easiest thing to do to solve the problem right away is to just do it. But I've realized over time that this does not build independence in your teen, and then they become very dependent on you, which is really hard for you and your teen. And that's hard to teach later in life as they get older. So starting early really helps. And we want to set boundaries with our teen. And boundaries are not a form of punishment or anything. They are a form of love. You want your teen to learn boundaries. If you don't teach them boundaries at home, they're going to have a harder time setting boundaries for themselves with friends, teachers, partners, coworkers. So we want to try to really help them build some boundaries at home and for themselves. So enabling can feel helpful, but it often backfires and it often delays the healing. A lot of times with my kids, I did it for them. And then later on, let's say it was homework, they bring home another homework assignment. And because I would do it the first time, they would have no idea how to do it the second time. So what really helps is just sitting down with your teen and going through things rather than just doing it for themselves. So our goal is really to help our teens build resilience and real world coping skills. We only get our children for a short amount of time in this life. It's 18 years. And after that, we expect them to go on their own and do these things. So we really want them to learn these things before they go out into the world by themselves. So here's a reminder that I hope you'll carry with you. Love doesn't mean doing everything for them. It means helping them believe they can do it themselves, and that is a very empowering lesson. So I want to thank you all for joining me this week. I really appreciate your time. I hope you learned something here. Next time we'll talk about when to seek professional help and how to build that support system for your teen. If you can, try one new strategy this week. Small steps make a big difference. And I'm here if you want to reach out. You can reach out to me at my email address, which is on the slide here, nicole@mosaiccounseling-wi.com. Or you can go to the Mosaic Counseling website at mosaiccounseling-wi.com and find some help or seek any services or anything else that you may need. I hope you come back next week and join me for part 3 of this series. Thank you so much.